Hello, everyone. We are back once again for Airdomo Beyond Borders, the Global Life Series. I'm Stephanie Gillison. This is my partner, Kat. And this week, we've got some fun things to talk about. I mean, this is where we talk about how we can actually go places and still do our jobs and have some benefits for doing so. Right, Kat? What are we talking about this week?
Yeah, we're talking about remote work and how so many, I don't know how many people know this, but I've worked remotely since 2010. So I was into it way before it became a popular thing. And so many of my friends have gone to destinations, fallen in love with them. They're great to work in, great scenery, you're working on the beach. That's not a myth, it's a possibility. And I've done it. So it's amazing. And that's what we're here to talk about.
That's awesome. I'm excited because, you're right. I mean, COVID opened up most of our eyes to remote work, but there's been so many, different industries that have always been able to do it, especially like you in the tech industry and so forth. So, and you writing and being able to travel and write about all your travels. So that's amazing. I'm excited.
Yeah, so let's get started. Let's talk about working from paradise, how to set up a business and life in the Caribbean. Yeah, we'll focus on the Caribbean today. So I don't know if anybody knows this, but there's 36.2 million remote workers currently in the world. And that's probably a rough estimate. I'd say there's probably a lot more. So what do people have to do to legally live and work remotely from the Caribbean as a foreigner?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, there are ways that a lot of these different destinations are going to recognize. And so many Caribbean nations now offer remote work or digital nomad visas that allow you to live and work legally without taking a local job. So like, you hear about people coming here to the United States on a work visa. They come here, they get a job, they're here on a work visa. Well, we can go to other countries, work remotely for whatever company it is we're working for. And as long as we can prove that we have that remote job, they will allow us to live and work legally in their country. Barbados loves us. They have a welcome stamp. They love for us to come there, enjoy their island, enjoy their real estate, and work for wherever we want to work. Cayman Islands has the Global Citizen Concierge Program. Again, they, advertise this. They promote this. They want us to be a part of that. Antigua, Barbuda named digital residences. They did an entire campaign where they wanted to be known for the islands that offered the digital experience. So any remote worker could come there and work remotely and digitally. The Bahamas has the BEATS program, BEATS. And this is a program where it's the Bahamas Extended Access Travel Stay. That's what it stands for. It's for virtual students and virtual workers. And what that means, Kat, is as a student, you could be going to the University of, California, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
You can then get, if you can do remote classes or virtual university classes, you can go to the Bahamas for 1 year, show them that you are a student of University of California and that you're going to be doing your classes remotely, virtually, and they will let you have a passport and live there for 1 year for all 16 islands. They will also then give you access to the University of the Bahamas while you do that. Now, they'll also do this for adults with jobs. If you have if you're a virtual worker and allowed to be a virtual worker and you can prove, they will also allow you to stay up to 1 year and give you a passport to do so for all 16 of their islands. So, a lot of this is, we always talk about, well, how legally can we get into another country? Well, these are the ways that we can do so. These visas typically require proof of remote income. Obviously, they want you to have valid health insurance and they want you to have a clean criminal record as well. They don't want criminals.
Of course. Yeah. I've done it before. It's amazing. It's a great way to get a feel for, where you want to live. If you're thinking about living in different neighborhoods, it's really a great way to kind of scope it out. and be able to work. So let's talk about the tax benefits of living in the Caribbean as a remote professional or entrepreneur.
Well, majority of them offer no income tax. So you're not going to pay any additional income tax because you're there. You're
Okay.
just going to pay your income tax to wherever you're a citizen. You're not going to have the capital gains tax. You're not going to have an inheritance tax. This makes them extremely attractive for entrepreneurs and high income earners and
Mhm.
self-employed people. The Bahamas has no personal income tax. That's why it's been extremely popular for many, many years. Cayman Islands, we all know about Cayman Islands and how many banks are on that island. It's tax-free income and there's privacy protection, very, very strong privacy protection. St. Kitts and Nevis, no income or estate tax, plus many other CBI options. Before relocating anywhere, you've got to visit your tax advisor, and your CPA or tax advisor needs to specialize in international tax. You've got to make sure of it. We're not tax people here, but you need to make sure that you are speaking to someone so that you are, getting the right answers, especially when you've decided what place it is that you want to live or buy or purchase property.
Yeah, and that's a really important point. Your local accountant may do a great job for you here domestically, but
Yeah.
you really do need to find an international professional. Okay, so how does one go about choosing the right island for their lifestyle and business needs?
Well, it depends on the priorities. I mean, look, everybody has different things they like to do, okay?
Mhm.
Here's one of the things for me, connectivity. I
Me
hate like if my husband will tell you if it takes longer than a 4-hour car ride, I'm not going. Okay. So same on a plane. I want to be able to get on a plane and get there. So connectivity, fast internet, because look, if we're going there to do remote work, we've got to be able to get into the internet. Reliable infrastructure, is another one. And so all of these priorities are what's going to take place, but also your lifestyle. Do you want nightlife? Do you want adventure, privacy, or do you want to be part of a community? Cost of living, that's going to play a big role in all of this, because what is it that we can afford, and what's it going to cost after we're there to live?
Mhm.
Is it going to be more expensive than where we came from in the US, or is it going to be less expensive? Are we actually going to save money by living there? And then the residency options, because so many countries are offering different forms of residency, whether it's permanent or even the temporary, and golden visas and so forth. What are those incentives?
Okay. And also, business friendly regulations, I think, are also super important. Yeah, and you need to research that stuff before you go, just to
Yeah.
make sure that your business falls within, the guidelines. So, what's required to set up a business or work remotely from the Caribbean?
Well, everybody's a little bit different, okay? So again, like you just said, you got to check into these things. But for the
Hmm.
most part, most digital nomad visas are designed for the entrepreneurs, the freelancers, the remote employees who earn income from outside the country. Requirements often include the minimum income threshold, 50 to 100,000 annually, health insurance coverage, proof of remote employment or business ownership, clean background check. To set up a business there locally, you're going to need to register that entity. You're going to need to open a local bank account. You're going to need to work with a local legal advisor to ensure all compliance. They might require different citizenship in order to get that business open there. But that's the one thing that you will have to do is make sure that you consult with a local legal advisor for sure.
Okay. Okay. And this is my favorite part. What does day to day life look like in the Caribbean? I think we can kind of
Yeah,
imagine.
I think you can tell me better than I can tell the audience. But here's what I know. In going to so many different places, experiencing it, I have never worked remotely, in all honesty. But knowing so many people that have, and representing so many clients that do, they're waking up every day. They're steps from the ocean. They start their morning with walking on the beach, or doing yoga, just walking amongst watching the sun rise.
Mhm.
A lot of my clients, they are really particular about having that privacy, but yet they're close enough to be able to walk to restaurants and having that convenience factor. So many of them hardly ever talk about getting in a car and driving anywhere. It seems like they're all walking places. But here's
Mhm.
the one thing I do know: they're more relaxed. They are so much more laid back. I
Yeah.
think when they get on a call with me, I'm a little bit too hyper now for them because they've got that island lifestyle, right? I mean, that's what it does, is it slows some people down in a good way, though, relaxes. I mean, I'm sure their blood pressure and everything has improved because of a lot less stress is happening. But the wellness and spa retreats are something else. There's so many great developments that are popping up where not only can you get a great villa or a great condo, but you also can have a spa right there in your development. You can get massages, you can get yoga classes, you'll have an exercise facility right there on site. They're bringing instructors in for you to learn all kinds of different types of dance that they're utilizing for exercise. We've seen developments where they actually have the climbing walls, pools, you name it. There's a lot of things out there that's wrapped around wellness, which is hugely popular. But also having restaurants right there in a walkable distance is huge. But a lot of times people, and we're going to talk about this next week, but a lot of people love the concierge services. They want to own their real estate, but they
Mhm.
also want the finer things in life, and they want to feel like they've gone to a hotel. So they want those extra luxury amenities as well too. And we'll talk a lot about that next week. So I'm excited about that. But look, it's a great work-life balance because I'm going to admit it. I get extremely jealous when I pop on a Zoom call with a client of mine who's got the beach and the waves in the background. And that's exactly how they're able to work these days. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of the whole wave thing, and for me it's pretty easy, especially if the times are a little bit different. You can run around, enjoy your life, do the spa treatments, have a nice lunch, and then you go to work a little bit later and
Yeah.
it all works out. I just live in PST. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
that
that you
oh,
bring up a great point on that, Kat, because all the different time zones as well.
mhm.
There's clients of mine that they do get a lot done in the morning, and then they have all afternoon to enjoy what's going on the island. So working out those time zones really do play in a lot of people's favors for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this has been really great looking at this. Next week, as you mentioned, we are going to talk about branded residences and the hotel lifestyle that you can actually acquire. So it's super popular. I love it. It's the best of both worlds. So I'm excited to talk about that as well. And thanks, Stephanie, for answering all of our questions.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.